Hi, I'm Danny, one of the volleyball coaches here at King's Christian College, and today I just want to take you through some of the adapted rules for the volleyball game known as bounce volleyball for the APS. So the players start on in teams of 6, and these positions are known as position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are known as the front court positions, and these are the back court positions. The gameplay starts with the serve from the player in position 1 over to the net on the other side. Years 4 and 5 can use an underarm serve, and year 6s, if they like, can use an overarm serve. Ideally, serves are done from the baseline, but you are allowed to serve up to the attack line, and you can have 2 attempts on your first serve to get it over. Now, year 6s must attempt their first serve, however, from the baseline. If they miss that serve, they can then try again from the attacking line. Whenever you win the serve back, your teams move around one spot clockwise, and from position 1 or 4, the new players can be rotated on. It's worth noting that to keep the games fair, a server can only win 3 consecutive points in a row. So if they win 3, they win that last point and they have to give the ball over to the other team for them to then serve. As we know in volleyball, teams are allowed up to 3 contacts to get the ball back to land on the other side of the net on the opponent's court. But in bounce volleyball, the ball is allowed to bounce, if needed, in between each contact. This means that when the ball comes over the net to your side, you have the option to let the ball bounce once within the court lines before making each contact. A player, however, cannot contact the ball twice in a row. And note that if it bounces out of the court lines at any time, like when your team is making the 3 contacts, the point is over. Now, there are a couple of differences between the years to keep the games flowing. For year 4s, you're allowed to catch the ball as it comes over, pass the ball, and then pass it back over the net. You must not, however, move spaces if you are holding the ball. Remember, the ball is allowed to bounce in between each contact. Year 5s are only allowed to catch the ball if it is from a serve. If you do catch it, it must be passed to another player on your team, who then contacts the ball with a dig or a set or even a hit. Do try to encourage the kids to be using their dig and set skills straight off the serve, still remembering the ball can bounce first if needed. For year 6s, no catching is allowed at any time, but the ball can still bounce in between each contact if needed. Remember, you have up to 3 touches to get the ball back over the net. There are also a couple of additional rules you may need to know. Firstly, if a server serves the ball and it hits the net and goes over, that is allowed. So it's not a foul, it is allowed to happen. However, any player at any time cannot touch the net themselves. So if you jump forwards and accidentally touch the net, it is a foul and the point goes over to the other team. So try and jump up and not into the net. Secondly, you are allowed to contact the ball using different parts of your body. So that might be using your feet or your head or your knees, but of course we are trying to encourage the players to use their volleyball skills of the digs and the sets. And lastly, if the ball contacts any part of the line, it is considered in, just like tennis. And sets are played up to 25 points, and you've got to win by 2 points. So hopefully this video will help you understand the rules for bounce volleyball. And it's actually good for the coaches to discuss beforehand with each other to decide on some of the rules, to clarify, just to suit the ability of your year level. Because at the end of the day, we want the students getting as many touches as they can, working through their rallies and progressing up to proper volleyball skills.